How's it going, everybody? Welcome. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Later with Tommy Davidson. Having a real good time. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm going to cook my own turkey this year. Every time my mother cooks a turkey, it's very dry. So dry we had to eat it in the rain. Okay. Now, this usually marks shopping time. Now, I don't shop until about the night of the 24th. Any fellas like that out there? Come on, that's a tradition. Help me out, y'all. You be standing here. Thanks for coming. We have a great show for you, so let's get it started. Now, you know my guest tonight as one of the finest singer and songwriters in the music industry. He has written such classic songs as Soul Man and the Oscar-winning theme from Shaft. His latest albums are entitled Branded and Raw and Refined, which coincidentally are the names of my lawyers. Oh, y'all laugh at that one, huh? Please welcome my guest, Isaac Hayes. Come on. Get it going, man. Get it going, man. Woo, Isaac Hayes. I done grew up. I didn't know you wrote the Soul Man.
Tommy, you're a walking encyclopedia.
Man. Whoa, man, I got goosebumps over that one, man. Tommy, now you know you're a walking encyclopedia. Now, I didn't know that you wrote that song.
Yeah.
Really? I thought, you know.
Yeah, with David Porter.
Okay.
My co-writer.
From Sam and...
No. Dave
not from Sam and Dave?
Dave
Okay.
Prater was...
Okay.
The late Dave Prater was with Sam and Dave.
Okay, okay.
But Dave Porter was a songwriter and a singer and a performer.
Right, right. That was a golden time in soul, wasn't it?
Oh, that was it.
Yeah.
That was classic.
Like groups like Ike and Tina Turner, right, before he was whipping ass. Otis Redding.
Otis Redding, that's
Wilson
right.
Pickett.
There you go.
Very, very strong lyric lines, a lot of horns, very,
Yes.
very rich soul.
Eddie Floyd.
Eddie Floyd. You can go
Booker
keep
T
on.
and the MGs.
Booker T and the MGs.
Carla Thomas.
Tighten up.
Rufus Thomas. Archie Bell and the Drill.
Archie Bell and the Drill.
Yeah. I told you this guy's a walking encyclopedia to be so young.
Well, you know, I had a lot of 45s.
And 8 tracks.
Yeah, right. That was my babysitter. I'm going to work. Just listen to some 45s. So, yeah, that was a great time. Now, you know, so, R&B, which is now called rhythm and blues at the time, it's called soul music. Had a lot of meaning, had a lot of deep meaning.
That's
you
right.
come from that period when it was called soul music. I don't know where the term, you know, rhythm and blues came from. I'm sure there's a root fundamental term to it. But to me, soul music meant a lot more.
Yeah.
It had to do with the people's movement, that is, black folks here in this country and the whole African-American movement during the late 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
And soul meant a whole hell of a lot.
It did. It was a feeling. It was an expression of social experiences and conditions and aspirations and all of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It was a whole groove. And I remember the black light posters with the afros. You know,
Fishnets on the wall.
Fishnets on the wall.
Bead curtains and stuff.
Bean bags. We had to open them up one day.
Lava lights.
We had to see what kind of beans was in there. You know? I wonder if we can eat these beans. Yeah. They call them a bean bag. You know what I mean? So anyway, you're the king of cool. That's obvious. I mean, to this day, look at how smooth this boy is. Come on, y'all. You got the deep voice. There ain't but one person in the business with a deep voice that can do the things that you can do. And you know who I'm talking about. Right on, right on, right on.
Talking about BW.
I'm talking about Barry White,
That's
another
right.
soul great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're definitely a 70s icon. You're one of the first brothers to shave your head.
Yeah.
And that was considered a militant move at the time.
Well, yeah, it was, but it was out of necessity.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now what happened? I want to hear this one.
Well, what happened, during those times, musicians, especially in Memphis, Tennessee, we wore a thing called a do. You know what a do is?
Yeah, the do.
Relax your hair.
Exactly.
And it was cut real close, and it was trouble keeping it in place in the summertime, especially because you sweat, and you had to sleep with a stocking cap on. I said, I'm sick of this stuff. I'm going to the barber shop. Yeah, that's right.
All right.
I went to Mr. King around the corner from Stax Records. I said, Mr. King, will you cut this stuff off? I want to grow a fresh crop. Cut it off, and I walked outside. I said, wow, it's a breeze out here. Feels great. So I decided to keep it. And everybody said, wow, look at that guy with the bald head and the beard. Oh, he's strange looking. But that was it.
I hear that, man. Ain't no teenagers getting high, chase you, get the munchies, think you was a giant milk dud, did you? I just thought I'd ask, man. I mean, you never know. Hey, that's the milk dud that just went by. That milk dud is a bad mother. Shut your mouth. I think he just got a haircut. Great. Great. I ain't gonna die. Now, you're the first African-American composer to win an Oscar.
Yes.
Now, what was that all about? I'm sure that was very compelling. I mean, that was deep.
What happened was Melvin Van Peebles came with a movie called Sweetback's Badass Song.
Oh, right.
And that opened, that showed Hollywood that that was a market, a consumer market, and in the inner cities, African-American moviegoers. So they said, well, let's target that market. So they called everybody in from Stax, MGM, and they wanted a movie with a black leading man, a black director, a black composer. Of course, I wound up in the mix.
Wow. Wow. And it ended up having a very heavy impact on our society. Before that, blacks hadn't even had a chance to be portrayed in roles where they were in control or where they played the leading man.
No, they were butlers and chauffeurs and maids and things like that. Mainly, you had a few, like Sidney got through. And,
yeah, Sidney did his thing.
Yeah, but Harry, a little bit.
Right.
But mainly it was those kind of subservient roles.
Okay.
But when you had a hero on screen up there, doing his thing, man.
Right.
Box office.
Exactly. Finally got some black heroes. They called that the Blaxploitation period.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Why do they call that that?
Well, because it was some form of exploitation, because all of those things were exploitation. You had Clint Eastwood, when he did his spaghetti westerns, those were exploitative movies.
Okay.
But, Blaxploitation, a lot of people took offense to it because they were concerned that the subject matter was only going in one direction. A lot of pimps and hookers and things like that. But I think they made the move too soon, because any kind of genre that's in its infancy, you're going to have one thing until the baby starts to grow up. Right. They didn't give the baby a chance to walk.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And then, I think it was an outgrowth of what was happening in the black community at the time. And the black community needed some heroes. And that's why they made it they made a lot of money off of those movies, because the brothers and sisters in the city, being so oppressed, and going through so much. I mean, there was heroin on the street. This Vietnam thing had just ended. And I mean, we were really in, King had just got assassinated. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that happened.
Want to see us win.
Right, and the black community was in a lot of despair. So when these heroes came along and said, no, I can't wait to catch up to the white man.
Right.
Sit down. I think a brother would pay his rent to see that at the time.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, in all realness. There was a time, there's a time and place for everything.
A funny thing happened. One time we went to St. Louis when Shaft opened. I was on the road, my band and everybody. So we went to this theater in St. Louis to see it during the day.
Right.
And we sitting up in there, man, eating popcorn, just making noise, having fun. And Usher said, look, if you guys don't be quiet about that, put y'all out. And somebody said, but this is, I said, don't tell him. Don't tell him I composed this thing. Just let's be. And Usher just shut us up, man, and almost put us out of the theater. And we cracked up. But we had fun, though.
Right.
I mean, a great time seeing Shaft on the screen. Of course, we knew everything, my musicians, because I scored the movie. Right. We knew all the line, the dialogue, everything. We were saying, the guy looked at us and said, how did they know that? They just saw it.
Right.
But we had seen it all the time.
Right, right.
It's really funny.
Yeah, it's a very golden time for the African Americans who were children at the time. I mean, I was 8, 7 when that stuff was out, and Keenan Ivory Wayans, Robert Townsend, and those guys were teenagers when that stuff was out, and that was what was to do. I mean, let's go and see Shaft, man. Let's go see Willie Dynamite. Let's go and see.
Willie Dynamite.
Yeah, Willie Dynamite. Let's go see Superfly.
Yeah.
And it was like a party because we get in the movie theater, man, and people are yelling and throwing popcorn and having a grand good time. And it was a whole different deal. And my mom would drop us off at the door, because under 17 not admitted with our parents, so they come and say, I'm his parent, and I let him go on in. Had my mother known what was going on inside that theater, boy, I ain't lying.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
It was a great time, and these films were very communal. We had a lot of films that were saying a lot of things, like Cornbread Earl and Me, Sounder, Claudette.
Cooley High.
Claudette, what is it, Claudette?
Yeah, Claudette. Claudine, and Let's Do It Again.
Let's Do It Again, Cooley High. Yeah. So this was a very, very, to say Blaxploitation is kind of not giving it its full value.
And I had a lot of fun with Mac Truck Turner.
Y'all remember Truck Turner? Boy had chandeliers on his car, man. Okay, we're going to go to a commercial, and we'll be right back with Isaac Hayes.
When you put a call in the mail in Detroit, it might be some static on the line. The line might be busy, or he might not answer at all. But when you put a little call in the deal, it be 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day, 365 days a year. We always call on Jesus. Let the church say amen. His line is never busy. Hey, this is Isaac Hayes. I'm flying with Northwest Airlines. I hear it calling in the wind and the weather. There's a Holy Spirit bringing us together. Listen to your heartbeat. Let it set you free. Come fly with me. Some people just know how to fly. I don't know whether that looks wrong. Whoa!
This man does it all, man. Airplane commercials, man.
Man got a lot of babies to feed.
I hear that. I hear that. Some people just learn how to fly. Yes, you do. Now, you're doing radio.
Yeah.
You're in New York City. I heard you a couple times.
98.7 KISS FM. Classic soul in the days R&B.
And y'all get up early. You be up early every morning.
4 o'clock every morning.
Now, you see, I be on the radio like, how y'all doing?
Tommy, you have to appreciate what I went through.
Okay.
Last night, Butch Lewis and Denzel Washington and I, we hung out.
Okay.
In New York. And I said, man, it's a new soul cafe there. I said, man, I got to go to bed. Fellas, now, come on. Ran in Luther Vandross, and we just hung out, right? And then we went to another place called Chaz and Wilson, anniversary thing. And I dragged in bed about 2:30.
Okay.
I got to get up at 4.
You might as well not have went to bed.
I know.
Slept in front of the radio station.
I dragged into the station, did that, and then jumped on a flight, and came out here just to look at your face, brother.
Well, wake up!
But that's what radio's about, though, man.
Okay.
If you're in drive time in the morning, I'm on the air from 6 to 10. I have to get up at 4 o'clock every morning.
Okay.
And wake up, take a shower, get ready, everything going in. And when the light goes on, I got to be live.
I hear that.
Yeah,
I hear
gotta be
that.
live.
I've heard the show, and it's very positive. You know,
yeah.
and the cool thing about that show and about what that station is doing now is that it is playing R&B and soul from an era that deserves, you know, some attention.
That's right.
You know, and the thing about R&B music, let's say hip-hop or, you know, black music, is that it's not like rock and roll where the rock and roll stations support rock and roll historically in a whole.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll play, in one day you can hear some new stuff, but you can also hear some classic Led Zeppelin.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and our stations aren't like that. You know, you either hear what they got in rotation, or you got to have an alternative station.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's good that kind of stuff is being heard. What do you think?
And what we're doing now, we changed our format. Yeah. We're changing our slogan now. Classic soul and today's R&B.
Okay.
Because Tony Braxton and I did a commercial, man. It's
Slam.
It's the bomb.
Oh man,
It's the
you know
bomb.
I got to hear that Tony Braxton. She was
bomb.
all that.
We did. It's televised. I'm at the keyboard and she comes in and I'm singing and not knowing she's there. She touches me on the shoulder. I look back and there's Tony Braxton. And then it gets
a little sexy on us.
Yeah, it gets.
Does it get sexy on us? Don't be shy now.
Yeah.
Don't be shy on this Thanksgiving now. Let it happen. Don't be stuffy on Thanksgiving now. Give it up. Now you got this thing, Shaft of the Day.
Yeah, that's one of our features that we do in the morning.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and can you describe that? Because
What we do, we get our listeners to call in a certain hour and say, we're going to shaft somebody for you. Somebody stepped on your toe, made you mad, PO'd you, you know. We'll shaft them for you. Just give us a situation. And they'll give us a story. Yeah.
You think you'd do it for me?
Yeah.
Okay. This little girl named Susan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Not a little girl, but woman named Susan. You know, she dogged me, man. I mean, she was with me throughout the whole time. I mean, before I made it big and everything. And then as soon as I got a little you know, notoriety or whatever, she dropped me.
She dropped you, huh?
Yeah. She dropped me. She said I was getting too much attention and I ain't had time for it, stuff like that.
Okay, Susan, right?
Susan.
You got to help me.
Hey.
You know, like when I said, who's the man, blah, 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 and you said, Shaft, you got to call her name.
Okay.
I'm going to cue you. You said Susan, and was she kind of looking at the money thing, too?
Well, she actually just got a little, you know, she felt like I was dissing her. I was going after my career, and she thought that I wasn't focusing on her.
So she
kicked me to the curb.
Was she kind of a gold digger, too?
Yeah, she was a little bit of a gold digger.
Okay. We call her gold digging. First time.
Because I bought her a Benz, I bought her a Mercedes.
Okay.
And then, and then next thing you know, she wasn't there. No.
All right. So your cue is, I'm going to say blah, 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 blah.
in the Mercedes.
Your cue is, I'm going to say blah, 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 blah. You said Susan. I said, who? You said gold digging Susan.
Okay.
And then I'm going to say Susan is a so-and-so and so-and-so, and you said shut your mouth. And then I'm going to say.
I'm talking about Susan.
There you go. You got it. Now, what am I going to say? Uh-oh. Turn it up.
Turn it up, baby. Susan. Too early?
Who's the hoochie that had the nerve to kick my man all the way to the curb?
Susan.
Who? Gold digging
Gold digging Susan.
Susan is a gold digging, job town, fair weather, no good, low down mother.
Shut your mouth.
Come on, Susan.
Well, she got my Mercedes. But I tell you what, I'm a complicated man, but I'm gonna have to buy me another Mercedes. Susan. We're gonna go to a commercial. Susan, you're welcome to come on the lot and say hi if you want. We'll be back in a moment. Now, Hot Buttered Soul, the album. Now, I had that album. Every time my mother wanted us to do housework, she put that album on. She said, yeah, now y'all go hit it. When the album's over, then y'all can go outside. Oh, yeah. She loved that. She loved that album. Now, that introduced rap style, really, back in the day.
Well, they say that, you know, pioneer of rap and stuff like that, but my rap was not in rhythm.
Okay.
I told a story. The only kind of rap that I did do in rhythm was on Shaft, first verse of Shaft.
Okay.
You know,
Well, that wasn't no slouch. It wasn't like we ain't know nothing about it. It wasn't like that was a little hit. You used to act like, you know, I did a little something, a little rap. It's a little thing called Shaft. It only won like 96 Oscars.
Don't you love this guy? Do that Sammy for me, man. Come on, do some Sammy.
Here's the cat that's on about the nose that shit's it all about. Sammy, man, watch it catch the marbles down.
By the way, I produced Shaft on Sammy.
Did you?
I was in the studio the night of the Golden Globe Awards. Lou Gossett accepted it for me because I was in the studio cutting Shaft on Sammy. It was called John Shaft.
Did he sing it?
Yes, he did.
Oh, no.
Yes, he did.
I would have loved that.
He did.
Here's that cat that's all about. You're darn right, babe. Now, you're into the music that's happening now, too.
Yeah.
I mean, like all of us are, I guess.
Well, the hip-hop stuff is Isaac Hayes and Bootsy, Collins, George Clinton, James Brown, people like that.
Right.
Because what they do, they took the samples of our thing.
Exactly.
And,
yeah, I mean, if you think about it in a way, you know, there is no hip-hop without all that groove and soul stuff. Almost every popular track that comes out has, at the bottom of it, at the subtext, a very, very funky, well-known groove.
That's right. I went to see my son one time. He said, Dad, don't you hear this heavy bass, man? He put it on. I said, son, do you know what you're listening to? He said, yeah, I'm listening to so-and-so, DJ so. I said, no. That came off the Shaft album. It was called Walk from Reggio. And that's your old man. Oh. Ghetto Boys, mind playing tricks on me. Yep. That's right.
This you had a winter on the weekend.
That was a tune. That was a tune came from my Tough Guys album.
That was a bad Bad track.
It was called, what was it called? Hung Up on My Baby, a jukebox tune.
Doom, 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 doom.
That's right.
There's a lot of wah-wah back.
Special effects.
That was the style back then, a lot of wah-wah. It's like in the background on the Starsky and Hutch episode while they're chasing people. Anyway, we're going to take a commercial and we're going to be back with more Isaac Hayes, more Tommy D later. Isaac Hayes' brand new album will be available in stores. You'll find this at any of your local record stores. This is out right now. So anyway, no, this is the classic album that everybody had in their house. You know what I mean? I used to try to imitate this in the mirror. You know, so hey, thanks for dropping by.
Tom, it's been a ball.
You the man. So good night to y'all. Thanks for hanging out with us, okay?